Yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Don Weave here, back with part 5 for What If Naruto Was in ReZero. If you guys have not already, make sure you go and watch the previous episode, part 4, which came out around a week ago, as well as the final episode for the first half, the first core of ReZero Season 2 has come out, so I'm extra hyped for some ReZero content coming out today. Hope everyone had been patiently waiting for this. It's all ready to go, and let's get right into the video. If you have not already, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below what you would like to see more on the channel. My now new anime breakdown analysis video on Chakra from Naruto will be coming out soon. There was a rendering issue before, so I'm bringing this out first. I am putting this in after I recorded this. And anyway, let's just get right into this part for part 5 of What If Naruto Was in ReZero. Naruto and Rem have now to hurry to get back to the mansion in time. Naruto has told Rem about what has happened, and he needs to get there in time so that they can save everyone. Rem's confused at first, but Naruto she believes in, so she'll do as he says for now. As Rem and Naruto get onto a single ground dragon together, riding as fast as they can to get to Roswell's mansion. As now they are progressing, it's becoming nighttime, as Naruto tells Rem they need to avoid that specific path back to Roswell's. As now Rem's asking why, Naruto would say that the whale would be appearing there, as his eyes look stern, thinking that he ought to take care of that after he takes care of the witch cultists. As he and Rem approach the mansion, there seems to be nothing wrong. As Rem and Naruto are now rushing down the forest alleys as they're going from grove to grove, getting closer to the mansion and the village nearby, they would then suddenly be confronted all around by witch cultists. This is when Naruto would remember seeing what had happened to Rem before and tells Rem to stay back, as he immediately goes full powered up into Spirit Sage mode. "I'll take care of this," he'd say, as he then creates a Rasen wind-style Rasengan, as he then throws the Rasengan with plenty of wind magic energy surrounding it along with wind spirit inside of it, as it crashes into 5 of the witch cultists, instantly sending them flying back with damage across their entire bodies, beginning to bleed. Naruto would then ask them if the rest of them wants them as well, as we then see that one of them has begun to contact Betelgeuse using their magical Mitia. As they would contact Betelgeuse saying that pride's being difficult, Naruto would sit there asking what he's talking about, as Naruto would then tell him to stop losing focus on him, as Naruto moves forward at blitzing speeds, creating a shadow clone to help him deal with the rest of these witch cultists. Ren would be watching in awe as she sees her hero doing everything to protect her, as well as, for some reason, what's going on, as she now realizes that these witch cultists are actually there attacking the mansion. Rem would go into her demon Oni form, as she then brings out her large spiked weapon, which Rem would then use to attack as many of the witch cultists that were left in a rage frenzy for her hatred towards the witch cultists. As Rem and Naruto then depower up, with all the witch cultists being culled, Naruto would grab the Mitia and ask Rem if she knows what this is. She would say that Roswell probably would, and they should probably head to the mansion as soon as possible, as long as Roswell's still there and hasn't fled to the sanctuary by now. Naruto would nod as he says that they need to get to Emilia fast, or otherwise. He remembers what happened in the last loop, with Puck and Kurama battling, with 2 beasts of legendary power fighting towards the end of the world. What Naruto wouldn't have seen, however, is Reinhardt's intervention with the Nine Tails as well as Puck, before either of them could have gone out of hand. Anyhow, Naruto as well as Rem now rush toward the mansion as they finally arrive, opening the doors and telling everyone that they need to get out of there as fast as possible. The ordeal will be beginning soon, as witch cultists begin to flee into the village, as well as Betelgeuse himself would be coming. However, Naruto would be prepared for this, as he grits his teeth, telling everyone that he can deal with all these problems at one time. Naruto would create an army, around 400 shadow clones, as he tells them to go to different sections of the village to deal with this issue, as he himself will confront Betelgeuse. He would tell everyone to get back, as he then powers up into Spirit Sage mode, feeling all of the spirit energy colliding with himself, as well as his magic and his gate beginning to merge together, as he feels the chakra and magic fighting against each other. As he slowly calms them down, he would then enter this mode, as the blue aura of all the spirits contracting around him would give him his pigment of his Sage mode. Naruto begins Naruto running as he jumps from tree to tree using his chakra control to attach to it from foot placement to foot placement. The Shadow Clones would now be defending the village from the witch cultists, as Naruto is a one-man army, quite literally, as he's taking on the entire witch cult from the Sloth region. As he finally finds Betelgeuse and some of his fingers surrounding him, Naruto would sit there calmly, as Betelgeuse turns around. "My brain trembles," he would say, as he then grabs his hand and begins to shove his fingers into his mouth, biting on them hard. Betelgeuse, Naruto would think, as he sees this monster, as he had heard his name from the other witch cultists himself. "You're the leader of this whole operation," Naruto would say, as he has a flashback looking back into the village and all the bodies that had been left behind in the witch cultist's wake. "I won't let you do as you please anymore. No one else is going to be hurt. You know that?" Naruto would say as his eyes begin to fill with rage. Naruto would then begin to leap forward as some of the fingers go to confront him. Naruto would scream, "Get out of my way!" as he pulls his fist back, charging chakra and magic into it, and slashing, creating a big burst of wind, chakra, as well as magic, slicing all of them in half with one fell swoop. "This power, you must be pride," he would think, as he says, "Oh, my brain trembles, so the love surrounds you so much." Naruto would ask what he means. "What do you mean, love?" Naruto would say, as he looks into Betelgeuse's cold eyes. Betelgeuse would then pull out his gospel, asking if this man, Naruto, would have introduced himself by now. Naruto had received the gospel yet. Naruto would have no idea what he's talking about and say he doesn't know what that creepy book is, but he doesn't care. He just tells him that he's taking him down as he points a finger at him. You don't know the love, yet you're covered with so much of her love," Betelgeuse would scream, as he then rushes towards Naruto, using his own power of the unseen hand. What are those?" Naruto would think, as he sees the dark black hands beginning to grow out of Betelgeuse's body. This is when Kurama would first speak to Naruto for the first time.
"I can sense her presence all over it,"
Kurama would say. "Her? Do you mean the—" Naruto remembered the dark hands that grasps his heart every time he dies, returning him by death as he goes back to the previous save point. The grief surrounding him as he dies. "You mean that? Nine Tails," he would say, as Kurama would grunt, confirming his suspicions. "Then that means you have the power of the witch," he would say, as Naruto's eyes are full of horror after his experiences. Naruto would then be shocked as the unseen hands come crashing towards him. Naruto would power up as he then summons flame spirits, just like Julius had instructed him to before, as he then sends 3 flame spirits towards the dark hands, burning them in the daylight sun, as Betelgeuse would scream, "Spirits!" Betelgeuse would be in complete pain as he feels the spirit fire all over him. "Now let's do this attack," he would think, as Naruto would pull his fist back, collecting all the spirit energy he has, as well as some chakra into his arm. He would then rush towards Betelgeuse, as he then throws a punch a few feet away from him. As he twists his arm, however, suddenly beams of light would come out of his punch, as it smashes into Betelgeuse with tons of spirit energy from all different types of natures of spirits. Betelgeuse would then get slammed by this as he's sent flying into a tree. Naruto would say that he asks Betelgeuse if he knows anything about the whale, as he remembers it from the previous loop beforehand where he got killed off by it. Betelgeuse would ask him what he's talking about, as he then means the whale created by one of the Lady of the Witches, the Witch of Gluttony. As he would say this, Naruto would say, "Yeah, that one." As Betelgeuse would laugh as he tells him that that's not anything to do with him, as if he really wants to get past the white whale, how will he deal with his fingers first? As Betelgeuse seemingly would die. This is when the fingers would begin to emerge as Betelgeuse's soul enters their bodies. My brain trembles," he would say, thinking that Naruto had already taken out 3 of his fingers. Damn it. There's more of them, he would think, as he then rushes around the forest, destroying them with shadow clones as well as his Rasengans, just killing off as many of the fingers as possible. This would lead to the final finger, in which suddenly the finger would tell him that he should probably turn around. As Naruto would turn, looking quickly over his head, seeing that the black hand of the unseen hand is now close to Emilia's neck. "Don't do it," Naruto would say, as Naruto's eyes would be filled with horror. Emilia would have now followed Naruto and asked what's going on, as he would try to tell Emilia to get out of there. Emilia would be confused, and as the hand begins to surround Emilia's neck, Naruto would take his right hand as he sees the black hand over him. "I have to." He would jump into the air as he then fills his palm with spirit energy and slices the black hand in half, cutting it off as Emilia is now saved. "Emilia, run," he would tell her, as she would then turn around, telling him that she's not going to run, as she then summons Puck and uses her spirit magic to help him finish off the last finger. Naruto would tell her that was dangerous, and she then would make a pout face as she tells him that him running around the forest killing off these witch cultists was dangerous. Naruto would sigh, telling her that it's fine if he gets in danger, but he can't let his friends do everything for him anymore. Naruto remembered back in the past when he had all of his friends helping him to find Sasuke as well as everyone else, and he failed at that too. Naruto would sigh. He says they need to go check on the villagers, as Naruto would then desummon his shadow clones, realizing that the battle was over. The witch cultists had been defeated, and the villagers had grown a ton of respect for Naruto, as he had single-handedly defended them from the entire witch cult that had been surrounding them and Roswell's estate. Now, Naruto had another problem. "Emilia, do you know what this whale is? It was white, and it had fog surrounding its entire body." "You mean the white whale?" she would say. "What does that have to do with anything?" Naruto would sigh as he says, "I guess it's a personal grudge, you could call it." Emilia would tell him that's a pretty selfish request for asking for information about it, as Naruto would sigh, saying that he'll owe her one. Emilia would smile, saying that it's alright and that she was just playing around with Naruto. As she giggles, Naruto would sigh as he tells her that she needs to stop doing that, when he then tells her that they need to hurry though, as it's almost the same time as before. He would tell Emilia that she should stay away from him when he goes to go and confront the whale, as Naruto would then head out. Naruto would realize that he wouldn't be able to take on the whale on his own, and so he would come up with an idea, slightly brilliant for Naruto actually. "Emilia." Yes, Naruto?" she would say, as she asked what he was thinking about. "Is there any way we can contact any of the other candidates for the royal candidacy?" he would ask. When she's curious about this, Naruto would say that he thinks that if they could take this white whale down, then it'd probably look good for Emilia to help in with that as well, and he can help represent that for her. But they're going to need more fighting power, as the whale's going to be there in 30 minutes about, he would think, as he'd remember taking a little few breaks before they were actually heading back to the mansion. Naruto would tell Emilia this, as she would sigh, thinking about what they could do. Naruto would then remember that metia that they'd been using before, the witch cultists, and ask if there's anything like that. Conveniently, Crush and Felt would have one, as Reinhardt had actually given Felt a metia for that to contact him, and Crush would have one because it's Crush. Why else? I mean, plot convenience, but anyway, Emilia would call Crush soon, and instead of doing what they had originally done in the original to heal Subaru, she would tell Crush about the White Whale's new location, saying that she would send Naruto to help out with the battle, and she'd be coming with herself, in fact, and that they'd actually, if they worked together to take down the White Whale, would probably be good for both their candidacies. This is when she would ask where the location is, with Emilia saying that as soon as she swears to agree to her agreement, then she'll tell her the location. Naruto would then tell her Emilia, and as Emilia asked where the white whale was, that he and Rem had found it around the big tree that was on this trader's road when they were trying to get back to the mansion. She would ask when Naruto had actually ran into the white whale, when Naruto would say never mind, as he remembers that no one else can remember anything from his previous loops. Emilia would tell Kurush that it was going to be near Flugel's tree, the big tree on the trading roads, as she didn't know the time exactly, but it was probably going to be in around 30 to 40 minutes. They didn't know if they'd have enough time to get everyone to ready by then, but they'd do their best. Crush would get around half of their forces that they originally had in the original, but they'd have Naruto, so I think that'd make up for at least more than half, as Wilhelm would be eager to go, thanking Naruto Dono for telling them about this information. As Naruto would arrive on Ground Dragon back, with Rem, Ram, and Emilia coming with as well in this time, with Roswell having already retreated back to the sanctuary, not having foreseen how quickly Naruto would take them all down with the witch cultists, Naruto would then tell everyone that it'd be coming soon. A large moan can be heard in the distance, not in a dirty kind, you freaking degenerates, as we can hear the white whale approaching. "It's coming," Naruto would say, as Crush and the rest of her army, along with everyone who had accompanied, including Anastasia's now war party she had sent with after hearing about this information, would now be waiting, as the white whale approaches from overhead. "Now," Naruto would say, as he jumps into the air, with Emilia sending an ice bolt beneath him, as Naruto would attach his feet to the ice using chakra, as he goes flying up towards the whale. Wilhelm would then be slowly jumping after Naruto, as the rest of the forces begin blasting magic at it. Naruto would tell him not to mind him, as he would then create shadow clones all over the white whale's bodies that begin to use their kunai to dig into its skin. You damn whale, he would think. This is for what you did to Rem and everyone else during my last loop, he would think, as he slams Rasengan into the white whale, actually doing damage as chakra and magic have some very different properties on the white whale. As the white whale is slammed into by the Rasengan, it would get moved back a few feet, as Naruto continues beating mercilessly into it. This is when Julius would slowly begin to arrive, as some of the royal knights had heard about Naruto's struggle and wanted to go assist him as their friends now. Julius would see Naruto on top of the whale, summoning spirits as he goes into his spirit sage for the third time that day, which is really beginning to drain him as he didn't think he could use it anymore after this time. He created a ginormous Rasengan. As he makes this humongous Rasengan, he would take one spirit and surround it as it began to spin around the Rasengan, creating a multi-nature Rasengan. The Rasengan would begin to glow into a rainbow-like color, similar to Rosal's magic actually, as he then slams a massive Rasengan into the back of the whale, saying the whale will be grounded now, as the whale gets sent flying into the ground with a huge gash on its back from the massive spirit Rasengan. As Naruto is now taken to the ground, the forces all rush forward, screaming in a battle cry as they begin jabbing at the white whale, ripping it apart. This is when it would begin to smoke itself, as it creates tons of fog around its body, which would begin to erase some people from existence. No! I won't let that happen this time. Naruto holds his hand up as he creates a miniature shuriken and begins to fill it all over with wind magic and wind chakra. He would throw this magical shuriken around the whale as it begins picking up speed, creating a tornado. Wind spirit art, rising tornado. As he creates this, the tornado begins to spin the whale as it then runs out of magic, falling back to the ground with the fog being all dissipated. Everyone continues attacking the whale, as the whale would then try and push itself out of under Naruto and Wilhelm's intense barrage. As the whale gets out from underneath the army, it would fly into the air near the tree, as it then splits up into three of itself. You're not the only one who can do that trick, Naruto would say. Multi-shadow clone jutsu. As he creates multiple shadow clones, around 500 clones, Naruto would begin to feel an immense drain in his chakra. Too much, he would think, as he had used too much power against Betelgeuse as well as the witch cult beforehand. This will be my last attack, he would say, with all of his energy now rushing out of him, as he would then turn seeing Julius now there. Julius would pat Naruto on the back saying he did an excellent job, and he'll let him take care of the rest of this. Naruto would then send his shadow clones forward as they stack on top of each other's shoulders, rushing as they jump, pulling themselves up one after the other like a massive ladder onto one of the whales, taking it down to the ground. As Naruto's shadow clones are now helping the rest of the army's fight, Naruto would fall to the ground, passing out, as Emilia and Rem would rush forward trying to help him. With Rem using her Alhuma to use ice magic, shooting it towards the white whale on the very top, they would figure out that the very top whale, much like Naruto, is the actual one with more power, and that's why the other ones are less heavy, since it's very similar to Naruto's shadow clone jutsu that he can use. Because of Naruto's assistance with this, the white whale would actually be subjugated much faster, as Crush and Emilia would deal the final blow, with them actually now taking down the whale itself without having to cut down Flugel's tree, as the white whale is grounded by Emilia and Crush's combined wind as well as ice attacks, with Emilia and Crush now actually defeating it. Everyone would be very thankful to Naruto's assistance, as Naruto did one of the most major blows in the battle, taking it down to the ground. Naruto had helped both parties now finally defeat the white whale, as he was now resting, with Felix helping with her water abilities and water magic and divine abilities to help heal Naruto and his gate. Naruto would be healed up very fast as he is an Uzumaki and has those fast healing regenerative abilities. Emilia would be incredibly worried about Naruto, as we've now made it to the end of Season 1 for What If Naruto Was in ReZero. If you guys want to see the next part, which will be now getting into Season 2 of ReZero with What If Naruto Was in ReZero, then make sure to hit the like button, comment down below if you thought what I did was good, and if you'd like more of the series to come, then yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later. Bye.